He was more than just a TV icon, he was a symbol of strength, pride, and black excellence. So when Jaleel White, forever etched in our memories as Steve Urkel, broke down in tears during a live broadcast, the world stopped. "I looked up to him my entire life," he said, his voice shaking. "I still can't process that he's really gone." This wasn't just a tribute. This was heartbreak. Raw, real, and deeply personal. But behind the sorrow lies a mystery. What really happened to Malcolm-Jamal Warner? And what secret bond did he and Jaleel White share that made this loss so devastating? The truth will leave you stunned. You won't believe what came out just moments after the cameras stopped rolling. This isn't just a tribute, it's the unraveling of a deeply personal, emotional, and unexpected story that caught fans completely off guard. Malcolm-Jamal Warner, the beloved Theo Huxtable, wasn't just a TV character, he was a cultural cornerstone. With his charm, wit, and depth, he helped redefine what it meant to grow up black in America, becoming a role model for generations. So when news broke that he had passed away suddenly at the age of just 54, shockwaves rippled across the entertainment world. But amid the flood of tributes and public grief, one reaction hit harder than the rest. Jaleel White, known worldwide as Steve Urkel, broke down during a live interview, tears streaming as he whispered, "I grew up looking up to him. He meant more to me than most will ever know." What few realized was that behind the cameras and beyond the fame, these two shared a profound, private connection, one built on mutual respect, shared struggles in a demanding industry, and a brotherhood few knew existed. Tonight, we uncover that bond, the silent mentorship, the unspoken support, and the heartbreak that Jaleel White never expected to face. We're about to uncover how their lives were deeply intertwined, off-screen, behind the fame, and hidden from public view. What truly caused Malcolm-Jamal Warner's sudden death? And why was Jaleel White's heartbreaking reaction not just about sorrow, but also heavy with guilt? Tonight, we reveal never-before-heard details about a secret project the two were quietly developing, one that now may never see the light of day. What has emerged since will leave you stunned. This is where the story turns from tragic to utterly devastating. Before the flashing lights and television success, before they became household names, Malcolm and Jaleel were just two young black men fighting to stay afloat in a brutal industry that too often discarded its brightest talents. Malcolm, the grounded and wise Theo Huxtable on The Cosby Show, and Jaleel, the unforgettable Steve Urkel on Family Matters, both rose to fame on legendary sitcoms that shaped a generation. Though they never shared a scene on screen, behind the scenes, their bond ran deep, rooted in quiet support, private conversations, and a brotherhood that remained invisible to the public eye, until now. According to people close to the performers, they first crossed paths at a child stars celebrity basketball tournament in 1990. Malcolm, who was already well known as a teenage idol, reportedly mentored Jaleel, who was 13 at the time. Unreported by the media, the brief incident marked the beginning of a mentoring that lasted more than 20 years. World of Stars was informed by an industry insider that Malcolm always had time for Jaleel. He was more than just the Urkel kid in his eyes. He recognized someone who was very talented and only needed support. And when the strains of being a typecast began to get to Jaleel, it was Malcolm who discreetly supplied assistance as his fame soared with Family Matters. Malcolm was the one who reminded Jaleel of his value outside of the character and pushed him to write, produce, and direct his own stories while he was fighting studio executives who wanted to categorize him as merely the geeky kid with the suspenders. That support would later serve as the impetus for a covert project that the two started working on shortly before Malcolm passed away, a dramatic web series about two former child stars adjusting to life after stardom. Later, though, there will be more on that startling unfinished project. Let's go on to Chapter 2 for the time being and examine the terrible circumstances surrounding Malcolm-Jamal Warner's untimely death and how it left Jaleel in utter despair. When the shocking news broke, the entire world awoke in complete shock. The popular Cosby Show star Malcolm-Jamal Warner was discovered deceased at the age of 54. At first, there were hazy rumors of a drowning, cardiac arrest, and unsettling accusations of foul play. Malcolm was found unconscious in his Los Angeles home's private pool, according to authorities. Around 6:22 a.m., a neighbor reported hearing shouting followed by quiet, prompting the dispatch of paramedics. Minutes later, emergency personnel showed up, but it was too late. On the spot, he was declared dead. It appeared to be a tragic accident at first, but as the investigation progressed, contradictions surfaced. The first important detail. Malcolm had advanced lifeguarding credentials when he was younger and was renowned for being a great swimmer. He swam in the pool every day, so how could he drown in it? The second important detail. Malcolm had been receiving threats in the weeks before his death, according to an insider close to the Warner family. Late-night anonymous calls, encrypted texts, and one voicemail that said, "You're next." This voicemail was sent 3 nights before to his murder and was apparently erased before authorities could retrieve it. The third important detail. On the night of his death, surveillance footage from the Warner estate's rear pool area was inexplicably erased between 3 o'clock and 5 o'clock in the morning. The removal of that footage was deemed highly suspicious by investigators. Some people think Malcolm might have been working on an expose that could have upset influential people in Hollywood and was larger than his own career. Was his passing a forewarning or just a sad accident? After learning of the situation, Jaleel White reportedly broke down in tears. He kept asking, "Why didn't he tell me it was this bad?" according to his publicist. Why did he remain silent? The next evening, Jaleel broke his silence in a tearful Instagram Live. "A true brother passed away. When the industry forgot I existed, he was one of the few people that came to see how I was doing, and now he's gone." His subsequent remarks, in addition to the emotion, were the reason the live stream went viral. He said that a few weeks prior to his passing, Malcolm confided in him about a list of prominent people who were allegedly involved in swaying young black talent in Hollywood. Jal also claims that list is still absent. Was Malcolm kept quiet? In Chapter 3, we examine the theory of explosives. Keep an eye out. Malcolm's untimely death, in addition to a distraught fan base and a bereaved family, Jamal Warner has left behind a trail of unsolved questions and unsettling rumors that are still reverberating across the entertainment sector. This chapter explores Hollywood's shadowy side in great detail. The side Malcolm might have been planning to reveal prior to his premature demise. Nobody was meant to know about the covert endeavor. Malcolm had been secretly working on a documentary series, according to close sources, including a former Thiki writer and a Netflix official who asked to remain anonymous. According to reports, The Price of Legacy focuses on how young black actors are exploited in the entertainment industry. During the pre-production phase of the show, prominent figures who had purportedly experienced discrimination, harassment, and even blacklisting were interviewed. Malcolm was doing more than simply making it. It was gonna be hosted by him. He said, "I want to burn this town down with the truth," was what one project assistant told Radar. He claimed it was time, even though he knew it was dangerous. However, all project-related documents, video, and contacts vanished following his passing. This includes the lost notebook and the purported blacklist. According to some reports, Malcolm kept a personal notebook in which he recorded names, meetings, and occurrences that he came across during his 40-year career, in addition to his well-known opinions and poems. According to reports, this journal had a thorough description of sexual impropriety on early Cosby Show sets that did not directly involve Cosby but rather involved other network members. Rising black stars were silenced by a roster of handlers. Notes from a confidential discussion with 2 other black A-list actors who were also producing exposes. Here's the twist, though. There's no notebook there. A week before Malcolm's murder, his cousin, who was staying at the residence, attested to seeing the journal on the bedside. 2 laptops and a locked external hard drive disappeared after his passing. Cautious voices attempted to alert him. According to sources, Regina King, Malcolm's longtime friend and ex-girlfriend, had pushed him to distance himself from the documentary. She allegedly texted, "Please just walk away," 3 weeks before to his death. "You don't have to take this route. I'm afraid for you." She wasn't by herself, either. According to a leak from Warner's management team, Malcolm turned down a big Hollywood producer's offer of a $20 million to quietly end the project. He stated, "You don't get to silence me just because it's inconvenient. Stars either speak up or remain silent." Oddly, a number of celebrities who were once close to Malcolm have declined to make public statements. Some claim it's because they're grieving, while others think they're being hushed. Few were brave enough to speak. Hours after his passing, Tisha Campbell shared a mysterious tale on social media. "You all had better get up. People are dying out here for speaking the truth." He was on to something significant, according to Rest and Loren Tate in an interview. Too large. They were aware of that. However, celebrities including Bill Cosby, Keshan Knight, Polium, and Felicia Rashad have only made vague or belated statements. Why was there no sound? What's causing the fear? The anxious response of the industry. The anonymous documentarian was removed from internal studio listings within 48 hours after Malcolm's passing. In public remarks, 3 significant players who had just a tenuous connection to the initiative distanced themselves. When YouTubers and bloggers tried to bring up the lost files and film, they received legal notices. This is not the usual response to an unintentional drowning. When something needs to be buried quickly, this type of media control is employed. What, then, was Malcolm aware of? What did he intend to reveal? And who didn't want him to, more importantly? The following chapter reveals Regina King's heartfelt remembrance and the mysterious statement she made at his memorial that has gone viral online. The public could not enter the memorial. No cameras or press are permitted. Just a few industry insiders, friends, and family. However, what transpired in that tiny space is already igniting a flurry of conjecture. Regina King, the distraught ex, was at the center of it all with a message. One of Hollywood's most cherished and tragic love stories was that of Regina King and Malcolm-Jamal Warner. According to insiders, Regina never stopped loving him, even after their relationship ended in 2013. She was observed arriving early for the memorial wearing all black and being escorted by 2 security. According to witnesses, she entered the chapel looking emotionally spent and hardly able to move. What startled everyone, though, was that she leaned in, murmured something, and started crying violently as soon as she approached the coffin. According to one attendee, you could tell she had been suppressing it for years and that it was something she wanted to speak. Regina whispered what? This is where the fun begins. Only bits of what she muttered were audible to a mourner sitting a few feet away. The phrases heard were, "They understand what they did. You tried to protect them, however they took you out anyway." Any other witness, a former set clothier for Warner's closing TV challenge, claimed it appeared like a goodbye, but also like an accusation, like she knew someone was looking. People inside the room reportedly fell into an eerie silence after she stepped away. No one stated a phrase for almost a complete minute. Some say her whisper became directed at those within the room. Others believe she became speak me directly to the industry and may be making plans to talk out in time. The aftermath. Regina goes darkish. At once following the provider, Regina vanished. No interviews, no public declaration. She deactivated all her social media debts and even postponed filming on her ultramodern task. This conduct, at the same time as probable link to grief, handiest deepened suspicions. A source near her internal circle told Human Beings mag, Regina is scared. She does not accept as true with everybody proper now. She believes Malcolm did not just die, he turned into silenced. The silence is deafening. Fanatics have due to the fact flooded Twitter and TikTok with theories, analyzing lip moves, gestures, or even her funeral attire for hidden messages. What did Regina say started out trending globally? Why all of us is watching her now? Regina King is not any stranger to political and social advocacy. She's been an effective voice in Hollywood and isn't always known to back off from difficult topics. So why hasn't she spoken out now? Some trust she's waiting, constructing her personal case. Others suppose she's being watched, threatened, or perhaps below felony orders to live silent. But one factor is sure, she is aware of something. And something she whispered at Malcolm's coffin, it wasn't simply grief. It became a message, a warning, a fact, maybe even a name. As soon as known as the United States' television circle of relatives, the cast of the Cosby display is now under the highlight, but not for a reunion. The unexpected and mysterious demise of Malcolm-Jamal Warner has no longer most effective bowled over enthusiasts, it has shattered the quiet brotherhood of the display's beloved solid. However, right, here's the query. Why are some cast individuals talking out and others useless silent? Phylicia Rashad, the television mother with a cryptic tone. Phylicia Rashad, who performed Claire Huxtable, Warner's on-display screen mom, turned into one of the first to interrupt her silence, however her message on Instagram raised greater eyebrows than consolation. He carried the burden of silence for too long. Permit peace locate him now. What did she imply by the weight of silence? Changed into Malcolm-Jamal Warner hiding something? Or worse, turned into he compelled to keep something quiet? Enthusiasts immediately took to social media to decode her put-up. A few pointed to past interviews in which Rashad hinted at inner conflicts behind the curtain. Others believe she became referencing Bill Cosby and Warner's reluctance to protect or condemn him publicly in the course of his criminal drama. Kesha Knight Payam, lacking in action. The actress acknowledged for playing Rudy, the adorable youngest Huxtable, has completely vanished from the public eye considering the fact that Warner's demise. No publish, no tweet, no tribute. Sources close to the forged say Kesha became too emotional to remark. However, insiders claim she's been warding off media no longer out of grief, however out of fear. One anonymous supply stated she knows something about what became occurring behind the curtain with Malcolm and he or she doesn't need to be the only to say it out loud. Bill Cosby's declaration bloodless and calculated. Bill Cosby, the display's megastar and patriarch, issued a quick and nearly tone-deaf statement through his rep. Malcolm become a skilled young man. He can be ignored. We move forward. It is it. No private tale, no reflection, only a sterile, distant statement. Fans have been livid. Even a number of Cosby's longtime defenders wondered his loss of emotion. A former studio manufacturer who worked with both Cosby and Warner stated that message wasn't grief, it turned into PR cleanup. Given the long-status rumors of anxiety between Cosby and Warner, many now consider their dating turned into far from the father-son dynamic we saw on display. Tempers flare backstage. In a recent off-the-record roundtable organized with the aid of a podcast crew with former NBC workforce, a chilling story emerged. Warner had reportedly been looking to write a memoir, one that would element his time at the display, the secrets and techniques he noticed, and the matters he regretted by no means revealing. Phrase got out to sure people. And suddenly, he stopped writing. Was someone seeking to shut him up? The cast is crumbling. And lovers know it. The Forged, as soon as seen as an appropriate circle of relatives, is now riddled with silence, scattered grief, and suspicion. Each tribute or lack thereof is being dissected, each put-up analyzed. Each whisper treated like a clue. And Regina King's emotional funeral whisper most effective added fuel to the fire. Become Malcolm-Jamal Warner retaining a mystery too dangerous to tell. Turned into he preparing to reveal something or a person. And in that case, become he stopped earlier than he could. Final phrases. A legacy in question. Malcolm-Jamal Warner turned into greater than simply Theo Huxtable. He became a person looking to step beyond a liked person and stay on his very own phrases. But now in loss of life, it seems his existence has ended up a mystery. One laced with fear, betrayal, and probably a cowl-up. As enthusiasts mourn and conspiracies develop louder, the as soon as united solid of the Cosby Show remains fractured. Haunted by using silence and what it may be hiding.